Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Welcome to the Forest of Arden, and today we're talking all about your iron shots from the fairway, talking about low points and a really important part of the golf swing which is going to help you ensure that you get that ball turf contact. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden, and today's topic is all about contact and the low point of your golf swing. Now, one of the things that the best players all do is they all strike the ball exceptionally well. In this video, we're specifically talking about iron shots or shots where the ball is on the ground. Now, in order for them to strike the ball exceptionally well, 99.9% of the time, the lowest part of their swing is target side of the golf ball, which is why we tend to see the majority of these good players taking divots after the golf ball. Having that low point of the swing, the target side of the ball, is going to ensure that you will hit the golf ball before the surface that you're playing on, whether that be sand, whether it be, in this case, it's obviously turf. So what we tend to see from the, higher handicappers is they often struggle to get that low point in front of the ball. And if they do get it in front of the ball, it's often not enough in front of the ball. What that tends to do is it tends to bring in the option of thin shots, fat shots, high ball flights. And certainly if you're on the golf course not confident of your strike, it's going to make it exceptionally difficult, especially when you've got a course like we have today where many of the holes have got trouble at the front of the greens. So the topic we're going to discuss today is something that I call the two low points. Now, I did a video on this topic, but it must be some 3 years ago now. I think it's an incredibly important topic, so I thought I would just refilm the video in case any of you have not seen that from a few years ago. So what do we mean by the two low points? Well, the one low point we've just discussed is the club. So when does the club reach its lowest point? Well, what we said was that needed to be target side of the golf ball. So as you can imagine, as I swing down this way, my club is traveling downwards, and when it makes contact with the ball, my club head has not yet quite reached the bottom of its arc. It would strike the golf ball, it would continue down into the ground, and then it would raise up. So my low point would be some, let's say, 3 to 5 inches target side of the golf ball. Now, hopefully, a lot of you watching this will be familiar with that concept. You'll be happy with that concept. But we're going to talk about another low point which is really, really important as well, and that's the lowest part of this part of the golf club. So we're going to call this the butt end of the golf club. So in a good golf swing, when we're hitting the ball from the ground, when the grip end of the golf club reaches my trail thigh, so you can see here, which is, some 4 to 5 inches before the golf ball, this part of the golf club at this point will have now reached the lowest part of its swing. So as I deliver the club into the ball, the grip end of the club is actually going to start to raise upwards. Now, because the grip is raising upwards, that does not mean that the club head is raising upwards, because we can have, as demonstrated here, we can have polar opposites here in what's happening. I can have the grip end of the club raising upwards and the club head traveling downwards. So when we get to this delivery position and our club shaft is parallel to the ground, we can absolutely have the grip end going upwards and the club head going downwards. So why does the grip start to move upwards? Well, the grip starts to move upwards because my lead shoulder is starting to move up and away from the ball. I'm starting to take the flex in my knees, I'm starting to straighten those out. I'm starting to take the flexion in my body and I'm starting to move towards extension. All of these things are great for adding speed and power to the golf swing, but what they do is they tend to raise the handle up. So let's go through an example. If I do not get the grip end of the club low enough over my trail thigh, what will happen is that if I start to pivot correctly and raise the grip up as I should, I'm going to find it incredibly difficult to reach the golf ball. So if over this trail thigh the grip of the club is not low enough, I'm going to be stalling out my lead shoulder, I'm going to be stalling out my lead hip, I'm going to be maintaining the flex in my knees, and I'm going to be maintaining the flex in my body because I appreciate that the club head has got to reach the golf ball. So if you're that golfer who's videoed your golf swing and through impact you feel like your body isn't pivoting as you would like, it may well be because if you did pivot correctly and raise the handle, you would top the golf ball because your handle was not low enough pre-impact. Now, I haven't mentioned this. This is the Alignment Pro that I use. It's fantastic. It's just an alignment stick, but it's got multiple uses, and I've got the head cover on it here. And what I've tried to do is set that head cover roughly at the same height as the grip end of my club. It doesn't have to be exact, it's just a reference point. And what we will tend to find from lots of golfers is from the top, the lead shoulder will tend to rise too soon, the angles in their body will start to extend too soon, and those movements make it incredibly difficult for me to get the grip of the club low enough at this trail thigh point, as you can see that there. For me to hit the golf ball now, I'm going to have to stall that rotation and try and get the club head to go as much down as I can. What I'd love you to feel in this drill is that to get the grip end lower than this Alignment Pro at that last parallel, you're going to feel as if you lower your pelvis slightly and your lead shoulder is going to move on an angle which is more down and towards the target. I'm going to do it slightly exaggerated here. So that was a slightly exaggerated motion, but I've lowered my pelvis, my lead shoulder traced more down and towards the target. From here, I've now got this grip at its low point. I'm now able to rotate and extend, raise the grip up, but still strike the golf ball as I wish. Lots of the golfers that you're going to see play this game to a high level are going to have the look of an extending, getting taller movement through the golf ball. These are the golfers who have this delivery position down to a T. If you're struggling with your rotation, it could well be that your grip is too high at this point. So the low point of the grip is incorrect. That's going to make everything else incredibly difficult through the golf ball. So try this little drill. You're going to go up to the top. You're going to lower the pelvis and feel like the lead shoulder moves down and towards the target. Get the grip lower than its starting point. From here, you can start to extend and release, and that's going to help you strike those balls much better. Right, let's give it a go. I am on the 16th hole here. It's a par 4. I've only got a 6 iron, but let's see if we can go ahead and execute this exactly as we demonstrated. Strike felt absolutely perfect. I would be very, very happy with that. I'd need to look at that back, but I'm going to guess that was hopefully kind of what I was highlighting in this video. So if you're struggling with your strike, if you're struggling to get the club head's low point correct, maybe think about the grip end and that low point, where it is over your trail thigh. Try this little exercise with a head cover on your alignment stick, and I'm sure you'll get those balls being struck just like that one. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that helps. It hopes you elevate your ball striking. Usual stuff, as always, is down below. There's a comments box down there. There is a like button. And over here, my logo, click that. That will allow you to be a free subscriber of the channel. Would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure we'll see you back here again soon.